The story kicks off with a rather downcast young chap telling a girl that his mum kicked him out of the house and he's been out of work since he turned 30. He's clearly feeling pretty down and not sure what to do next. As they sit in silence, his friend, who calls him Kyosuke, suggests a rather unexpected idea. They should get married. Kyosuke is taken aback by the idea, but his friend gently points out that she comes from a well-off, old-fashioned family and feels the need to get married now that she is 30. By marrying him, she can meet her parents' expectations, and then, in a twist, get back at him by divorcing him soon after. Kyosuke is doubtful, arguing that marriage should be with someone you are meant to be with, a belief he has held so strongly that he has never been in a serious relationship. Rui chuckles at this idea, calling it sentimental drivel, but she only needs the title of being married, which she thinks is a pretty good deal for both of them. After thinking about it, Kyosuke starts to realize it might not be so far-fetched after all, especially since Rui has a practical plan to help him find a job by suggesting he stay with her while he looks. Kyosuke is still trying to wrap his head around Rui's surprise proposal to stay married for just 100 days, so he cracks a small joke to ease the tension. Kyosuke notices his hesitation and gently brings it up again, and this time, he agrees. It turns out that Rui and Kyosuke have been friends since secondary school, keeping in touch even after university. He had always considered her just a friend, but now he is suddenly married to her. After the ceremony, Kyosuke suggests they snap some wedding photos, but Rui is in a hurry and wants to get everything done quickly. As Kyosuke looks at the photos, still amazed, Rui hands him the marriage application form, asking him to fill it out so their union can be officially recognized and their surnames matched. At the same time, she casually hands in the divorce papers, instructing him to complete them too, so they have all the paperwork ready to go. Feeling a bit swamped, Kyosuke asks Rui if he could stay with her for a bit while he looks for a proper job and can move out. Rui reassures him not to worry at all. As the day goes on, Rui finally invites him to dinner, which throws Kyosuke for a loop because he's been so focused on the awkwardness of planning a divorce that he momentarily forgot they're still married. Watching Rui get ready to cook only makes him more anxious, as he wonders what she's cooking up. When she finally shows him the dish, it's a bunch of supplements. He argues that pills aren't really a proper meal, but Rui just starts eating them without a care. When Kyosuke asks Rui to get food from the shop, she quickly says no, finishes her meal and goes to bed, telling him to sleep on the sofa. The next morning, as the sun peeks through the windows, Rui gently wakes Kyosuke. Once he's up, she gives him supplements from breakfast, which he's not too happy about, but he eats them anyway. Later, as Rui gets ready to head out, Kyosuke offers to lend a hand with the housework, but she politely declines, saying she's already got the groceries and that a robot called Tamago handles the cleaning. Kyosuke smiles and gives her a good day as she leaves. When Rui comes back, he greets her at the door and she hands him some money for the washing, reminding him to switch on the bathroom vent before he takes a shower. All of this leaves Kyosuke quite surprised. As Kyosuke watches the robot diligently clean the house, he begins to feel like a burden, questioning his place there. Glancing at the marriage application still sitting on the table, he wonders if Rui might be reconsidering the entire arrangement. The next morning, Kyosuke wakes up early to prepare a bento for himself, as he has a job interview scheduled and decides to squeeze in a few chores before heading out. He opens her bedroom door and softly calls her name. When there's no response, he hesitates, unsure whether to go in, but finally builds up the courage to step inside. To his shock, he sees Rui lying upside down on the bed, unmoving. Panicked, Kyosuke rushes to her side, shaking her gently until she stirs awake. Concerned, he checks her temperature and realizes she's burning up with a fever. Kyosuke gently tells Rui to rest, assuring her that he'll take care of the food. Rui protests, saying she can't sleep on an empty stomach, but he reminds her that he already made breakfast and insists she let him look after her this time. Though confused by his concern, Rui nods in agreement. He hands her a towel to help reduce the fever and offers her some water before checking her temperature again. It's 38.9 degrees Celsius. Once more, Kyosuke urges her to relax and reassures her that he's got everything covered, sitting by her side. Rui, feeling under the weather, despite her dedication to work with her father, finds herself sharing her living space with Kyosuke, who offers to rearrange the bento ingredients to suit her tastes. She agrees without hesitation, and with a warm smile, Kyosuke leaves the room, reminding her to rest. As he departs, Rui watches him. Later, Kyosuke returns, gently waking Rui to announce he's made her favorite tomato porridge. Starved, Rui agrees to eat. And to her delight, the meal is incredible. She compliments him, and Kyosuke modestly admits he's become quite adept at housework. He offers to help more around the house, acknowledging she's been managing everything alone, but assures her she can decline if it's too much. He mentions that being alone at home is usual for him, so helping out would be fulfilling. Breaking the silence, Rui admits she finds his presence comforting, and agrees to let him help, making Kyosuke blush. He cheerfully adds that he also made miso soup, which astonishes her. With a warm smile, he tells her to rest while she finishes her meal. Before drifting off, Rui praises the porridge once more. As she sleeps, Kyosuke busies himself with chores, losing track of time until a slight panic sets in. He quickly finishes everything, gently reminding Rui to keep resting as he heads out for work. Rui watches him leave, a soft smile on her lips. The next morning, Rui awoke feeling much better, her fever having broken overnight. Rui settled at the dining table and expressed her heartfelt gratitude for his care during her illness. However, when she reached for a match to light her cigarette, Kyosuke gently reminded her of her recent recovery, snatching it from her hand. With a hint of hesitation, he broached the topic of their marriage application, questioning why it hadn't been submitted yet. Rui revealed that she had waited to give him the freedom to back out if he changed his mind, and she asked if he truly wanted to live with her. Kyosuke, acknowledging the benefits he stood to gain, suggested that he should be the one posing that question, admitting that living with him had been less challenging than anticipated. When she inquired about his job interview, Kyosuke confessed to being late, which had not gone well. Despite Rui's attempts to lighten the mood, Kyosuke worried about becoming a burden. Watching Rui eat breakfast lifted his spirits. With renewed optimism, the two agreed to finally submit the marriage application. As they took this significant step, Kyosuke couldn't shake the feeling that these 100 days would be unlike any other in their long friendship. Meanwhile, Rui remained focused on finishing her breakfast. After eating, they set out to submit the application, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. Despite knowing their marriage has an expiration date, Rui and Kyosuke find themselves navigating the surreal experience of being a couple. The following day, during her lunch break, Rui is delighted to discover a beautifully arranged meal prepared by Kyosuke. His growing skill in food decoration is evident, with each item thoughtfully and creatively placed. Just as she's about to savor her first bite, Hayakawa Kurumi excitedly calls out to Rui senpai, congratulating her on successfully signing a contract with one of their most challenging clients. Teasingly, Kurumi praises Rui's cool demeanor and challenges her to a friendly competition. Her curiosity piqued by Rui's lunch, Kurumi begins to speculate about the sudden change in her food. Rui calmly explains that the meal was a surprise from her husband, as unexpected to Kurumi as it was to her. Kurumi, still skeptical, points out that Rui isn't wearing a wedding ring. Marie glances at her hand, momentarily silent, as Kurumi playfully suggests that Rui has been perfecting her cooking skills to avoid a hasty divorce. Rui remains silent, her eyes fixed on her bare fingers, realizing she has overlooked something quite important. After returning home, Rui broaches the topic of buying a wedding ring, which leaves Kyosuke looking puzzled. She explains that if they want others to believe their marriage is genuine, wearing rings is crucial. Kyosuke hesitates, admitting he doesn't have the money for such an expense. Rui suggests they simply pick up a pair from a general store. But Kyosuke protests, emphasizing that wedding rings should be meaningful, engraved with their names, and something special. He insists she wait until he can save up. However, Rui quickly brings him back to reality, reminding him that this is just a short-term arrangement of 100 days, and spending money on expensive rings would be a waste, especially when he should be saving to find a place of his own. Eventually, he relents and agrees to check out the general store with her. At the store, Rui casually tries on the first ring she finds, but Kyosuke suggests they at least choose something a bit nicer. He begins browsing, looking for rings that are pretty yet affordable. Rui insists a simple one will do, but Kyosuke wants to find something cuter. He suggests flower and heart-shaped rings, but she criticizes his taste. She declines his choices, mentioning that a simple one suits him well. Touched by Rui's willingness to make this fake marriage work convincingly, Kyosuke offers to pay for the rings. Rui agrees and walks off toward the cosmetics section, leaving Kyosuke standing there, quietly watching her as she goes. As he waits, he observes another couple joyfully selecting rings together, a sight that stirs a quiet longing within him. He wishes he could present a beautiful ring to his own partner, but he quickly tries to accept their current reality, hoping Rui's content with what they have. Suddenly, he remembers he needs to find Rui. Meanwhile, she's in the cosmetics section, browsing through various supplements, though she dismisses most of them. Buying rings from a general store is the most practical and cost-effective choice. As she glances at Kyosuke, she notices his familiar nervous habit of tugging at his clothes, a sign that something is troubling him. Recognizing this, she remains silent for the moment. Kyosuke then suggests they head home if she's finished shopping, and she nods in agreement. But before they leave, Rui stops him, gently addressing his habit and asking directly what's wrong. She expresses her frustration at seeing him prioritize everyone else while ignoring his own feelings, urging him to share everything with her as his wife. Kyosuke remains silent for a moment, then looks at her and simply asks her to follow him. Without hesitation, she agrees. They arrive at a bridge, where he shares his dream of a romantic proposal, acknowledging his inability to give her a decent ring. He explains that exchanging rings should be a romantic memory, something genuine with a story worth telling. Rui nods in agreement, eager to contribute to the moment. With a warm smile, Kyosuke paints a vivid picture of their proposal. They stand beneath a sky adorned with countless stars, a perfect backdrop for the occasion. Kyosuke gracefully drops to one knee, formally proposing to Rui. Despite her usual calm demeanor, Rui responds with a cool yes, reminding him of their existing marriage. Undeterred, they proceed to exchange rings, with Kyosuke savoring each second. Once the exchange is complete, he asks Rui to reciprocate. She glances at her ring before gently placing it on his finger, unable to ignore his radiant smile. Curious about his dedication to the romantic gesture, she inquires. Kyosuke shares that his grandmother's stories of her life with his grandfather, filled with warmth and love, have inspired him. Sensing a hint of sadness, Rui softly asks about his grandmother's health. Kyosuke reassures her of his mental readiness for the future and shares his excitement about a promising part-time job, while holding on to hope for a full-time opportunity. Rui suddenly realizes the deep significance of this moment for Kyosuke, and a wave of embarrassment washes over her for not giving it her all. Sensing her discomfort, Kyosuke gently reassures her, expressing his heartfelt gratitude for making his wish come true. Intrigued, Rui inquires about other romantic gestures couples typically share. Kyosuke recalls that many couples hold hands, and before he can finish, Rui eagerly agrees to try it. Kyosuke, slightly flustered, insists it's unnecessary, but Rui insists it's her way of making him happy. As they walk side by side, their hands intertwined, Kyosuke can't stop blushing. The sensation is unfamiliar yet sweet, filling him with a warm flutter in his chest, a tingle of something new and sincere. The following day at lunch, Rui opens her bento box to find another beautifully arranged meal, each detail reflecting Kyosuke's growing affection and care. Kurumi arrives to discuss work matters, but her eyes are immediately drawn to the glint of Rui's ring. Emotionally overwhelmed, Kurumi vows to uncover the identity of this mysterious husband. She begins probing about the nature of their relationship, clearly skeptical that Rui is truly married. Her curiosity leads to more questions, but before Rui can respond, her phone rings. It's her mother. She excuses herself to take the call, only to receive news that visibly unsettles her. When she returns home, Kyosuke greets her warmly, but she doesn't waste a moment. With urgency, she informs him that her parents are coming to visit. It's time, she declares, to truly embrace their roles as a married couple. The following day, after Kyosuke finishes work, he glances at the clock and realizes it's already late. He rushes home, aware that he still needs to prepare dinner for Rui. As he steps through the door, Rui greets him warmly, her smile inviting him to choose between dinner or a bath first. Taken aback by her sudden cheerfulness, Kyosuke inquires about the change. Rui reminds him of their need to practice being a loving couple. Initially thinking she's joking, Kyosuke is taken aback when Rui clenches her fist and seriously informs him that her parents are coming over. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Kyosuke hesitates, expressing his discomfort with pretending to be in love when they're not. However, Rui grabs his hand and leads him to her bedroom, where she sits him on the bed and hands him her tablet. She reassures him that there's no need to worry, as she's already done her research and compiled a list of cute activities they can do together to convince her parents of their love. When Kyosuke sees the word kiss on the list, he panics, insisting he can't fake something so intimate. He asks if there's anything simpler he can do. Curious, he questions the origin of the list, and with a blank expression, Rui reveals it's all based on shoujo manga. They decide to start with the first item on the list, a lap pillow. Rui sits down and invites Kyosuke to rest his head on her lap, calling it the simplest task. However, noticing his discomfort, she changes her mind and suggests he simply lie next to her instead. Rui lay on her arm, offering to go first if Kyosuke was too nervous. But he panicked, pushing her away and insisting it was too close. Thinking quickly, Rui grabbed a pillow to place between them, acknowledging his discomfort and explaining that they needed to appear like a real couple in case her parents checked in. Kyosuke was puzzled by her agreement, so Rui clarified that she was willing to do whatever it took to make their act convincing, feeling she was overreacting, and covered his face with his hands. Seeing this, Rui grabbed another pillow, suggesting they try that instead, to ease his tension. She then proposed that if the pillow idea was too much, perhaps they could just try doing it once. Kyosuke, overwhelmed, questioned why her parents had such high expectations, and admitted he couldn't even kiss her, let alone go further. Annoyed, Rui leaned closer, urging him to stop saying he couldn't. Kyosuke asked why she wasn't as awkward as he was, to which Rui replied that his inability to act was due to his constant self-doubt, and encouraged him to try, suggesting he might surprise himself. Suddenly, Kyosuke broke down in tears, feeling frustrated. Rui tried to comfort him, but he confessed that while he trusted her, he felt like a failure for not being able to do anything in return, burdened by the thought that he only caused her trouble. Rui, with her gentle demeanor, questions Kyosuke about his inability to express himself, reminding him of the moment they held hands and she felt his emotions. This revelation catches Kyosuke off guard, as it's the first time anyone has acknowledged his efforts. He recalls how Rui had openly accepted his hand back then, and now, inspired to reciprocate, he decides to take a bold step forward. Though words fail him, he approaches Rui and tenderly takes her hand. Rui makes a swift strike with the knife, but Kyosuke gently corrects her, urging her to use both hands for safety. Rui watched as Kyosuke gently guided her hands, teaching her the art of chopping potatoes with a tender patience. Despite his earlier reservations, she noticed how effortlessly he approached her, sparking her curiosity. Encouraged, she asked him to continue, and this time, she genuinely appreciated his efforts. When she mentioned this, Kyosuke flustered, quickly deciding to peel the remaining potatoes himself. As he focused on his task, Rui observed his natural ease and couldn't help but think he looked really cool. A thought she voiced aloud. This left Kyosuke blushing and confused, unsure if Rui was sincere or just playing along with their training. Nervously, he peeled faster. Once the vegetables were ready, Rui noticed Kyosuke's lingering blush and gently urged him to relax and focus on cooking. As they moved on to frying the meat, Rui cheerfully declared that cooking together was fun, leaving Kyosuke incredulous. He reminded her to pay attention as they added vegetables, then instructed her to let it simmer. In a serious moment, Kyosuke apologized for not acting like a proper couple, expressing his desire to make her happy and revealing that cooking was his way of showing love, a skill he felt confident in. Rui agreed, surprising him, and added that she didn't want to make him cry again, so she was content with their current arrangement. As Kyosuke brings out the cutlery, both he and Rui share a smile, agreeing that cooking together was a brilliant idea. Rui, feeling a bit playful, asks if this is what being lovey-dovey is supposed to feel like. Kyosuke, clearly nervous from their close proximity, slides back slightly. Rui gently reassures him not to cry, expressing her contentment with keeping things as they are. Once seated at the dining table, Rui thanks him for the meal, and Kyosuke feels a deep sense of happiness, knowing the curry is special because they made it together. However, when he asks Rui how it tastes, her response is a cold, good, leaving him puzzled. Despite this, Kyosuke can't stop eating, declaring his love for the dish. Rui, after putting down her cutlery, admits that honest answers can sting a little, and reflects on her Rui nature. She confesses that the idea of acting all lovey-dovey was a bit silly, and if her parents question them, they'll simply say this is how they are. Before concluding, she reminds Kyosuke not to be too self-conscious. The next night, as Kyosuke serves dinner to Rui, he mentions her parents' upcoming visit, but she confidently states they agreed to just be themselves. Kyosuke, however, remains unsure about acting naturally in front of them. When Marie notices Kyosuke isn't eating, she discovers there's only enough food for one. She offers to share her meal, remarking that it tastes even better than the day before. Without warning, she feeds Kyosuke from her bowl, adding a touch of unexpected sweetness to the evening. As he takes a bite, she giggles, revealing that feeding him was one of the things on her list. She teases him, saying he's pretty good at being lovey-dovey as long as he doesn't realize it. Kyosuke turns red with embarrassment, but then gets a little annoyed, realizing that while he thought they had dropped the list, Rui was secretly still working through it. She just smiles as Kyosuke assures her that from now on, they'll stay on the same page. Their talk is suddenly cut short when Rei's phone rings. It's her mom. He flinches, worried that a call this late might mean her parents are coming early. He's not at all prepared, but after Rie ends the call, she calmly tells him that her parents aren't coming after all. Her dad got busy with work. Both of them let out a breath of relief. Kyosuke is caught off guard when she quietly stands up and tells him to finish the rest of the food. Though he's feeling better, Rui seems disappointed. Without another word, she steps out onto the balcony and lights a cigarette. Kyosuke follows her, asking what's bothering her. The next morning, Rui walks out of her room dressed for the day. He greets her with a freshly made breakfast, which she eats without saying anything. She finishes it quickly, then heads out for work. Just as he tries to wish her a good day, she shuts the door behind her. Even though Rui says she doesn't care about her parents, her sadness over them not showing up says something else. Kyosuke begins to overthink things again, but this time he decides it's better to ask Rui directly. He spends the whole day patiently waiting for the right moment. As the sky darkens and rain begins to fall, he stands by the window, wondering if Rui has an umbrella. Back at the office, Kurumi assumes Rui senpai had a spat with her husband and tries to cheer her up. But Rui simply walks out into the rain. Karu rushes after her, offering an umbrella. Meanwhile, Kyosuke watches Rui, drenched and holding an umbrella, and gently expresses his concern, urging her to stay dry to avoid catching a cold. Kurumi nearby interrupts, leading Kyosuke to mistakenly think she's Rui's mother, which she quickly denies. Kurumi starts to introduce herself, but Rui intervenes, introducing Kyosuke as her husband. With the rain still pouring, he politely excuses himself and leaves with Rui. Karu smiles as they walk away, noticing her downcast demeanor. Kyosuke strikes up a light conversation and offers her another umbrella, but she says she doesn't mind sharing. He notes how unusual this is for her, and she quietly apologizes for her recent behavior, admitting something's bothering her, though she's unsure what. He guesses it might be her parents canceling their visit last minute, and Rui agrees he's probably right. She confesses that while she should feel relieved, she instead feels off. Her mother has hurt her deeply, and despite wanting to move on, she struggles to forgive. Rui reveals that despite appearances, her family life is far from ideal. Her parents once attempted a divorce, but failed, with her mother adhering to traditional roles, insisting that a husband must provide while the wife stays home. This pressure led her mother to push Rui into marriage, even after she moved out. As Rui shares this, Kyosuke gently wraps his arms around her, offering comfort. Surprised by his gesture, Rui questions his hug, prompting him to blush and stammer, unsure of how to console her, especially as she stands there dripping wet. Rui, slightly confused, reciprocates his embrace, expressing how warm it feels. They both silently acknowledge the significance of this newfound closeness, with Rui finding it calming as Kyosuke blushes furiously. Rui then boldly asks if she should sleep next to him, leaving him stunned. As they reach their apartment, Rui urges Kyosuke to join her in the room. Despite his embarrassment, apologizing, acknowledging this wasn't part of their plans. Annoyed, Rui tells him to just get in. He lies at the bed's edge facing the wall, while Rui attempts to shift him closer. When unsuccessful, she sighs and sits in the opposite corner. Worried he's upset her, Kyosuke sits up, concerned for her feelings. Rui, with a playful glint in her eyes, reveals that all she truly desires is to cuddle with Kyosuke, pointing to a manga page that perfectly illustrates the position she has in mind. When Kyosuke remains silent, she begins to nudge him into it, leaping onto him with a sense of mischief. Once they settle into the cuddling position, Kyosuke finally relaxes, realizing that Rui's yearning is for comfort and a touch of spoiling. As they lie together, Rui opens up about her parents often missing significant moments in her life due to her father's demanding job. which has left her questioning her own worth. Kyosuke tenderly runs his fingers through her hair, acknowledging her feelings of loneliness and reassuring her that it's okay not to be okay, and that she doesn't have to face it alone. Really grips Kyosuke's hand tightly as he teases her about her quick temper and her tendency to act like a robot, downloading emotions without truly understanding them. It's in this moment that Rui begins to grasp the true essence of loneliness. Kyosuke continues, explaining that while she may enjoy solitude at times, it's perfectly normal to need someone, and her feelings are genuine. As Rui slowly drifts off to sleep, Kyosuke gently comforts her, pondering how this can possibly be just an act. Later that night, Rui's restless sleeping habits lead her to kick Kyosuke off the bed. He wakes up, with a hand to his head. But upon seeing Rui sleeping peacefully, he smiles, leans in to admire her for a moment, and then quietly leaves the room to prepare breakfast. The next morning, Rui joins him at the table, greeted by a warm breakfast. She casually mentions her desire to buy an electric blanket to stay warm, causing Kyosuke to pause and wonder if her cuddling was merely for warmth, rather than genuine affection. As they sat down to eat, Kyosuke mentioned he'd be home late, delaying dinner. Before leaving, he paused and asked Rui if she truly wanted him to stay in the apartment. Her response was icy, hinting that her parents might still drop by. Nodding in understanding, Kyosuke tried to mask his emotions, but Rui's gaze made him blush, prompting him to quickly head out for work. Rui quietly closed the door behind him, then retrieved a cigarette, relishing the rare solitude. On the balcony, she lit it, reflecting on her accustomed loneliness. Meanwhile, in the elevator, Kyosuke's thoughts lingered on Rui until they reached Kamiwata-san's floor. Kamiwata greeted him with an apology for his casual attire and invited him in. Kyosuke was impressed by the immaculate apartment and complimented Kamiwata, who thanked him, especially for his cooking. Kamiwata revealed his new business cards, surprising Kyosuke with his additional profession as a lawyer. He offered legal assistance, and they shared a quiet moment before Kamiwata asked to be called by his first name. When Kyosuke confirmed it was Itsuki-san, Kamiwata blushed and went to shower, eager for the meal. Kyosuke noticed their similar jobs, and reflecting on their month-long marriage, decided to celebrate with a special evening. He cooked a fancy dinner, decorated the room, and prepared a small gift. But as he surveyed his efforts, he worried he might have gone overboard. That evening, Kyosuke surprised Rui with a beautifully set table, hoping to celebrate their 1-month anniversary. However, Rui was puzzled, unsure of the occasion's significance. Kyosuke gently reminded her that even if their relationship began as a pretense, they should cherish these small moments. Despite his efforts, Rui remained silent, questioning the importance of the day and what it truly proved. Frustrated, Kyosuke struggled to express his feelings and eventually raised his voice, insisting that a month together meant something to him, even if she couldn't see it. Attempting to ease the tension, he suggested they eat and forget his words. As they dined in silence, Rui persisted in her inquiries about the day's importance. Flustered, Kyosuke avoided a direct answer, fidgeting in his seat, and declared that she would never understand his feelings. His words left Rui speechless. Just as she was about to respond, Kyosuke stood up, left for work without a word, and walked out the door, leaving Rui behind. A pang of guilt gnaws at him for not tidying up the table, but he reassures himself that their marriage is merely a facade, so perhaps there was no genuine reason to celebrate. Seeking clarity, he heads to his job at Itsuki-san's and rings the doorbell. Itsuki greets him with a warm smile, quickly sensing something amiss. His keen observation catches Kyosuke off guard, and before he can elaborate, Itsuki invites him inside. Kyosuke shares the argument he had with his wife. Itsuki gently suggests that it sounds like they had a fight, offering her own definition of the term. Her words make Kyosuke pause and reflect, prompting a chuckle as he calls her smart and himself foolish in comparison. In an effort to lift his spirits, Itsuki speaks about the beauty of his relationship, highlighting that their ability to share feelings openly demonstrates their closeness. When she learns that Rui is still at home, Itsuki playfully scolds Kyosuke, urging him to abandon his chores and return to his wife. Assures him that feeling unsettled is fine, but what truly matters is going to her. Encouraged by her words, Kyosuke rises, ready to rush home, though he insists on doing the dishes first. He thanks Itsuki and quietly reminds himself that they are equals. As he makes his way back, memories of their high school days flood his mind. like the time Rui scolded him for forgetting homework, or when she yelled at him for being terrible at video games. He recalls a classmate's remark about their close morning, suggesting they might be mistaken for a couple, which left Rui both offended and confused. Meanwhile, Kyosuke had already faced teasing for spending time with someone like her, and though he longed to defend himself, he lacked the courage. Reflecting on the past, he realizes they were always different, and even when he believed in something, he couldn't voice it. But now, that's changed. He's found the strength to speak up, marking a significant part of his growth. Arriving at the building, he's taken aback by Rui's presence. She confronts him, admitting she came to yell since they're in the midst of a fight. Kyosuke quickly apologizes, confessing his lack of confidence to express his feelings, which led him to flee. He acknowledges her words hurt him, but he's sorry for his reaction. Rui surprises him by saying she was glad he finally spoke back, as he's usually too nervous around her. This change made her happy, though she scolds him for running away and leaving her feeling lonely, fearing he might leave her for good. That's why she waited for him at home. Despite her usual enjoyment of solitude, living with him has stirred something new within her. She admits to feeling lonely at times and discovering a new side of herself, yet she still feels she doesn't truly know him. Kyosuke apologizes for his silence and realizes they should make decisions together as equals, as they are partners now. With their differences resolved, Rui inquires about the anniversary. Kyosuke explains it's akin to a birthday, celebrating each month of marriage. He advises her that not everything needs to be verbalized. Some feelings are best expressed through actions. Rui extends her hand, inviting him to walk home together. He accepts, and she gives his hand a gentle squeeze. As they stroll, Kyosuke playfully teases her about her messy habits. The following day at lunchtime, Kurumi finds Rui eating quietly. They chat, and Kurumi praises Kyosuke's cooking, offering to make lunch for him sometime. Kurumi sits beside Rui, rambling first about Kyosuke, then about a new co-worker, though she seems mostly disinterested. When Kurumi finally finishes, she mentions the co-worker's name is Kamawata Itsuki. Just then, Itsuki approaches and greets them both.